Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here with the Owen Hart Blu-ray. This one, of course, is called the Heart of Gold. This is a 2-disc set that comes out talking all about the life and death and the highlights and the career of Owen Hart. He was, really, when it comes down to it, when you say like the People's Champion, of course, you're going to think of Diamond Dallas Page. You're going to think of The Rock. Owen Hart really was like a wrestler, like just like for the fans. I mean, this guy was good. I mean, definitely he was one of those guys that when you were watching wrestling back in the day, you could tell that this guy was better than he was portraying on the screen. And as you grow up and you become more of a wrestling fan, and you try to learn the other side of the business and you try to get all the inside stories. Owen Hart really is one of the most talked about wrestlers in the back. This guy, just came off like a real man's man. He got in there, he did the work. He was a really good wrestler. He's one of the most respected wrestlers. He didn't do a lot of things dirty behind a lot of people's backs. He did pull a lot of ribs, and that is one of the things that he's really famous for, and everybody's got tons of stories about it. And I'm sure that's going to be one of the big chapters of this documentary, is everybody telling Owen stories about things that he did, whether if it was, messing with people's bags or messing with people, prank calling them on the phone, and, all sorts of different things. I've heard millions of different stories of things that Owen Hart did to try to survive life on the road, which is a lot of the hard things for a wrestler. It's right up there on the top. If you think about why Brock Lesnar quit wrestling in 2003, I guess, it would be because he just didn't like living on the road. He liked being at home, and he thought he could go do a better life somewhere else. Owen knew that he had to be out there on the road, and he tried to make it a fun place to work, and that, was playing pranks on each other, sort of like Owen and Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig. They were like sort of like the leaders of the pranks in the locker room. So we're going to take a look at this one. I'm really excited to get it. I'll just flat out tell you the truth. It's not the best cover of all time, but it is what it is. I'm glad that we got it. There's some things have been said about this documentary and DVD Blu-ray set. Basically saying that it wasn't going to be that good. It's not as good as it should have been. But as a fan, honestly, I can say that I'm glad I have it. Here's the disc one. A lot of candid shots of Owen Hart. There he is winning the King of the Ring. Can't tell what's going on in that one. That's just a picture of him with the Canadian flag. Lots of pictures of him on the back, but see what's going on with this bad boy and see what's going on. There's the listing of the documentary. Check that out. And then we get into a lot of things going down. Stampede Wrestling, Owen Hart versus the Viet Cong. Dang, it's right there in that dang thing where you can't really read it because of the bend, but you got some more Stampede Wrestling with Owen Hart. The Blue Blazer on Wrestling Challenge. Blue Blazer wrestling at the Meadowlands. Then we got Wrestling Spotlight on Owen Hart versus Shawn Michaels for the Intercontinental Championship. Then we got Owen Hart versus Bret Hart at WrestleMania 10. Owen versus Razor winning the King of the Ring. This is a Portland house show, a lumberjack match. Owen versus Bret. This is the match. This is the match. This is the match that's on that Coliseum home video. When Owen beats Bret to become the WWF champion and all the heels come out. That is awesome. That made my day. That's worth the price of the Blu-ray alone. If you get this and you haven't watched the matches yet, watch that one right now. You'll love it. Owen Hart versus, I can't tell who the heck that is. Nick somebody. Wrestling. Now it won't focus. Nick the Barbarian? What? I don't know. Exhibition match. I guess that's kind of weird that they would put a jobber match on there. Something has to happen during that, you would think. And then we have Owen Hart and Yokozuna going up against the Allied Powers. That would be Lex Luger and the British Bulldog. Owen Hart and Shawn Michaels in your house. This is a WWF Championship match. Owen versus Mankind on Raw. Owen versus the British Bulldog for the European Championship. Owen versus Rocky Maivia for the Intercontinental Championship. Then we got the Hart Foundation. Oh, this is Canadian Stampede. I honestly want to watch that whole show. I've never watched the whole show, and I've heard it's one of the best WWF pay-per-views of all time. Definitely one of the best in your houses of all time. So, There's that match that's going to be really good. Very, very awesome atmosphere for that one with the, I guess it's in Canada, so that means that they would be behind the Hart Foundation, but fans are really, really into that match, and it's almost like they're right on top of the ring because you hear everything they say. Owen versus Goldust for the European Championship. Owen versus Shamrock, the dungeon match. Oh God, that's that. You're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. I've heard definite good and bad about that one. And then we have Breakdown, 1998, Owen versus Edge. Blu-ray exclusives are closer going to be the Blue Blazer versus the Red Rooster. Owen Hart versus the 1-2-3 Kid. The Raw tribute of May 1999. Of course, Return of the Blue Blazer. Yeah, there it is, right down there at the very bottom. This is the second to last thing, May 23rd, 1999. So they talk about his death, and hopefully it'll be a little bit more in depth than the the WWE 50 DVD that came out. But I almost want to say that with the coloring, the back looks better than the front does. But we got Owen Hart of Gold. This here says the youngest of 12 from the famous Hart family, and one of the most lovable personalities in all of sports entertainment, Owen Hart. There's the matches that they put over the best, but this is going to be a good one. This is definitely going to be a sad one, a lot like the Macho Man Randy Savage. Spoiler alert, it doesn't end well. But he was one of the best, and he was one of the good ones. I know that there's going to be people out there who say that WWE is taking advantage of the Owen Hart tragedy that happened in 1999. And if it wasn't for his death in the ring, they probably wouldn't have put out a DVD documentary on him, because a lot of the guys that were in his spot, they don't get DVD sets. It's true, but I mean, it's one of the ones that's been asked about for years. It wasn't like they just pulled this out of their pocket and said they were going to make this. Definitely fans love Owen. People haven't stopped talking about him since he died, and he deserves it. So there he is, the Heart of Gold, the King of Hearts, Owen Hart.